Alright, so in this video, I'm gonna go over the most important inner law that you need to go from codependent to confidence. I've read a lot of books, I've done a lot of research, and I've done a lot of work in myself that I've realized that this is the most important one. So if you stick around, you're gonna be excited. It's like super simple, but it can be a little bit challenging. So to share my story, I've been codependent most of my life. So what that looked like for me as far as behaviors, I would go around this earth with like my friendships, my relationships with my parents, my brother. I always found myself always wanted to be like Superman with them, right? So I was always over explaining, over giving. I could never say no to anyone because I always felt super guilty. Even though I really wanted to say no, I always said sure. And then I'm like, fuck, how do I cancel with this person? How do I like get sick? Or, you know what I mean? Like I would always put myself in those situations. And I feel like for me, the worst one, it was like in relationships where I always attached like my self-worth to what the people would do for me, especially in like romantic relationships. So I always told myself, oh, I'm a giver, but I don't expect anything. Psych. So I would give my energy, my commitment, money, time, things, looking out for them and being courteous, making sure they're comfortable, making sure they're well taken care of. And then I wouldn't get it. And if I didn't get it, I'm like, am I doing something wrong? Do I need to do more? Am I making them mad? Am I not good enough? And not pretty enough? I don't know if you ever felt that way, but for me, like that's what codependency looked like for the longest. Also trying to make my parents proud, be a good girl, be a good mom, have good grades, always be on point, not cuss, not listen to shitty music. When it came to like, let's say my brother and his girlfriend or wife, whatever they didn't like about me, I was always like, oh, I'm so sorry. Let me be what you want me to be so we can still hang out and do game night. But I always found myself apologizing. I'm sorry, like, sorry for breathing, you know? But, okay. So all those little behaviors, how I felt was, even though it was more about like how I was showing up, I always felt resentful. I was like, how dare they, you know? I felt unheard, unimportant, unseen, but it was because I was always giving, and I'm like, I'm expecting you to give it back. But they wouldn't. But I would still give them more, and I felt like, well, I'm giving you more. It's only right if you give me some back. And when I wouldn't, I'm like, oh, you're using me. Like, how dare you? You're disrespecting me. You're using me. I'm your doormat. And now I'm blaming them. They are the problem. So I felt all those negative feelings. But then quickly, like the turning point for me, which is the law I'm going to talk to you about, is this changed like literally everything for me. I stopped judging myself and started getting like curious. So the last time I don't know, like if you've seen my other videos, but I dated this person who was in prison. Obviously, at that time, that was my standard. And what had happened is I would send him money, I would pay the phone calls, I was there for him, anything he needed. Oh, Google, a search, a book, this, that, like I was right there for him, right? So what that looked like is It was a little bit less than 2 years. And then one day he was about to get out. Oh, he got out early because I paid for a lawyer, right? Me over giving, making sure he's well taken care of. I got you, even though I was still living on my mom. Red flag for me. I should have been my own red flag, right? So that should tell me that I'm not prioritizing me and my kids. So I was giving him everything. Before he got out, he broke up with me. And then that was, for me, that was the turning point where I'm like, you know what? No, like, I'm done being treated like crumbs. Like, I give my time, energy, loyalty, commitment, time, effort, just to be treated like that. So I feel like it was not just that relationship. I was more angry at myself that I allowed that. So my codependency, I feel like that's when it actually just shattered. I was like, I'm done. Before the breakup, I already knew I was codependent. And I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna survive. Like, I need to have a partner. I have the urge to hug them, be close to them. I love to love deeply. But after the breakup, I saw it from a different perspective. It was more like, this inner law is super important, which is awareness, conscious awareness. So how you can do this is coming from a place of curiosity. Sure, you might be hurting. Sure, it might be unjust. It might be unfair. They used you. They stepped on you. It sucks. But if you stay there in self-pity, it's going to happen again. So instead, let's say what helped me is like, okay, why am I overgiving? Why am I codependent? Where does that come from? Like, I never even stopped to ask myself, like, why do I keep doing this to myself? Like, I go into relationships and I do all these things and then I'm not loved. Why? And I don't consider myself ugly. And I'm like, why? I'm doing something wrong. So from a place of non-judgment, what I did is just ask questions. So examples is like, why do I feel the need to overgive? Why do I feel responsible for other people's emotions? Why do I feel unsafe disappointing others? That's a big one. Still kind of working through them. Why does my worth feel tied to being needed? Where did I learn this? Was it childhood? Was it growing up? How I grew up? Who I grew up with? Was it more from like when I was in high school? Stuff like that. So for me, it's like being observant without shaming yourself, which I kind of did, but it's okay. Now it's like you built awareness. So to me, it's like awareness is you study your own patterns, you observe your thoughts instead of like believing them. Whatever comes up, you're like, take inventory of that. Noticing my body when I say yes or no. Like, is it really what I wanted or what I just want to say, you know? Choosing my inner circle more intentionally. So what really did it was the shift from codependent to confidence is awareness. Take inventory of the good and not so good, and then work on what you want to change and how you want to show up. If you don't know, you can read, you can work on yourself. I will be posting more videos on how you can do that, but the very first step is to acknowledge and do the work and take notes. Let me know what you're working on, what you've noticed, so that way I can start like specifically helping with that. Okay, so remember that codependency ends when awareness begins, and confidence grows over time when you choose yourself one moment at a time. Okay, I hope this helped, and I will see you next time.